with another episode of GM Talks. Today we're gonna look at one of my games where I messed it up and it was painful. It was very painful. It's still painful when I look at it. So, but I'm not gonna lie, it is also instructive and you are here to learn and maybe not make the same mistakes as this old grandmaster. So let's get into it. It was the first round and as usual, I am rusty. Whenever I play chess, I'm rusty until I played at least 2 to 3, 4, 5 games or something. I am white against Jeppe Falkesgaard, talented junior, but of course a guy I think I should beat for sure. We play this is the Nimso Indian. And he plays Queen C2, and I prepared for him, and I didn't know he played this line. Maybe I would have chosen something else. It seems to me that I should, in general, have the normal advantages I have against juniors. That unless it becomes very complicated, I have a little better sort of grasp on the strategy than they have. Just much more experience. Anyway, D6 is sort of, he thought he probably know a lot about the castle and D5 and C5. I played all moves here with black, and I even played B6. It's all possible. D6 I think is the one where you're trying to get the most fight out of it. So if you really were looking for a fight, then D6 is the one where keeps most pieces on. Knight F3, Knight D7. So no check is coming here to attack my king and the bishop at the same time. You can make bad mistakes here. It was possible to lose in one move, I think, with B6. So Queen A4. But anyway, this is how you want to set up, and castle and E3. He plays a natural move. C5, trying to confuse him a little bit. I didn't know he wanted to castle queenside or wherever he was going to do. But basically, I want an unbalanced game. It's not that easy, and he played A3, trying to get back into normal territory where I played maybe C5 a little early. But the idea was all the time to play Queen A5, pinning the rook and getting ready to hopefully give him a double pawn. He did not accept the double pawn, even though this does look like it should be nice for black. Now I can decide if I want to exchange the bishop. And here's a little tip. Usually, it's not the knight that decides who's going to stay or go. It's the bishop. It's usually the bishop takes knight is a much more common capture than knight takes bishop. Think about it, right? Anyway, we have a normal position here. I thought, there's decent chances I can outplay him from this. B6, knight, bishop D3. The annoying thing, of course, he's already threatening. If I just covered with bishop B7, which would be a normal move, he takes and play bishop E7. So something like this, it's not working. And bishop E7. Annoying. So I had to unfortunately play knight F6. Still, nothing is going on here. It's a completely equal position, probably slightly better for white, who's got the bishop pair and a little bit more space. But we don't have much weaknesses at the moment either. Bishop B7. And basically, I will try to confuse him, because I know that if we have a completely normal game from here, it should be a draw. So we need some kind of asymmetry of some sort at some point. So that's also why I played H6, preventing knight D5, and maybe sometimes I'm playing with this. And anyway, it's nice that my king is now not going to get back rank mated. H4, and this was kind of the thing I was hoping for, because G5 is not a serious threat yet, but it could be annoying, and he decides to, well, panic a little bit, because H4, one of the the rules of playing chess is don't make any unnecessary pawn moves. That's a very, very good rule of thumb. And so if you don't have to move the pawn, don't move the pawn. Okay, let's go for a little bit faster here. Rook a c8, natural move. This is the target on c4. And we need to cover something. Not much going on here. Knight takes, rook takes. He now has the clean bishop pair, but I got d5, and we see that there are some sort of possible technical weaknesses. Also, we see that this pawn gone sailing away to this square has left me with this option in many. Oh, that should not have been red. Make it green anyway. By the way, another good little rule is don't have unprotected pieces, and at the moment he's got 2 rooks. So that often means that sometimes you can do something tactically. So d5 is well timed here. He should probably take, and I will take on c4, but it does look a little bit messy for him, so he decided to just cover everything. It's possible, but now we change the pawn structure, and he suddenly got 3 pawn islands. So there's 3 here, and 2 here, and 1 isolated pawn. That could also be part of a minority attack that will give me a weak pawn here, but that's out in the future. At the moment I have a simple, I will try to attack these 2 pawns with my pieces, typical something like this, putting as much pressure on that guy as possible. Bishop a6, rook d1, connecting the rooks, and suddenly there's only the bishop here. I could play knight d5 actually, because suddenly everything is hanging. Maybe not in this position, I don't know. Rook c6, all part of the plan. Let's sum it up. Of course you have to be careful that d5 is not possible. You don't want him to have a strong pass pawn. Sometimes c5 is good, but at the moment when one of the bishops goes, then the knight will probably be superior to his bishop. Anyway, that is the idea. The idea is I would like a position with knight versus bishop where I can outplay him. And king closer to the center, and rook. And basically, well, I didn't know exactly how to play here, but I felt that he was not going to be very threatening in any way. So if I offer a draw, he would take it immediately. So I'm just basically just playing a little bit around to see what's going on, and if there is a way to step up the pressure and make him make a mistake of some sort. And f3, and I'm also hoping that he would make what we in tennis would call unprovoked errors. A lot of players are very active, meaning that when nothing happens, they don't feel very well. They don't like it. It's just not their kind of position. They need something to be going on, and if nothing is going on, then they will make a mistake all by themselves. And that's what I'm hoping for. So in tennis, we know that we had this player, Caroline Wozniacki, I think is probably the right name, who was, I think, known as Little Miss Sunshine, and was #1 in the world at one point in tennis. And she played tennis like this. No unprovoked errors, never ever trying to win the ball, just don't make any mistakes. So that's a way to play. Knight e8, I liked that when on route to d6, it would cover this rook, so making c5 not possible in many ways. Rook c3, rook c6, and I decided that, okay, the rook was not well played on c7 when I'm playing knight d6. So all sort of small stuff here, nothing serious going on. He should probably start playing something with a4 or a5 or something. But I don't think he really thought about that. Knight d6, and he was also running out of time. And here he more or less panics c5. He does not need to play c5 actually. He can play bishop f4 because the pin here is a problem for me more than it is for him. If, for instance, something like this, it will be very difficult to get out, I think. So that's probably fine. I think no big deal. I think the computer says it's equal. I thought, to be honest, I thought here that I completely outplayed him, but the computer just says equal like that. It's just equal. Okay, whatever. It didn't feel like equal, and I'm sure he didn't feel it like equal either. So, and I take, and now we have a position with good knight versus bad bishop. And this is the kind of stuff I like. This is my place to be. So knight f5, going back. I didn't need to go back, but I like just to say, okay, I got something here. He's got a weak pawn, he's got a weak pawn here. This could also be weak. This bishop, I will do my utmost to make this bishop like being a nonsense piece that cannot do anything. That's my dream in this situation. Rook b3, everything is going fine. I feel great. Knight to d5, covering b6 and getting ready to win the pawn on c5 because there's no rook b4 and okay, we might have a rook ending, but I'm sure if I got a pawn more, I'm gonna win that rook ending. And he takes a little tactical trick. I cannot take back because he will play b7 and will queen. But the idea was all the time to take back and just have rook and knight versus rook and bishop. And I will have an active king. He will have problems with his pawns, and I will keep his rook passive, and I will win in great style. And so far, so good. Now, by the way, black has a serious advantage now. c5 and the way it turned was clearly wrong. You can just feel it. I'm already dominating active rook, and this rook is just with the view can attack here, but not really. This guy can't do much, and so on. Rook a2. We like that the bishop is more or less not here. His rook has been immobilized. The king is here. g3, weird move. Maybe the computer wants me to play h5 in this position. I was not really inclined to move any pawns with the do not move pawns unnecessary rule, so I just played here. But he definitely, I thought that was a mistake during the game, but it's definitely correct to put the pawn on h5. And d4 needs to do, and okay, the rook will come. I think actually the rook is actually in the plate, and something like this is actually pretty good because f4 does not look very good. Just let him go forward, and in the end he will lose himself the h-pawn. So I can even play b5 here or something, I think. So rook a1 was maybe a little bit premature. King c6, f4, rook g1, king f3, f5, and I'm not that happy about f5 anymore. I thought it was a great move, making his pawn position into no less than 4 islands. But the problem is he becomes a little bit more active after this move, and I do certainly get a weakness down here on g5, g7. I thought it was great to sort of stifle his pawns on f4, but it's not that. It is still good for me, but not as good as I thought. And here I make a mistake. Rook g4. I was afraid of rook g3. So I thought I should put it on g3. And this is where the bad technique comes in, because to be honest, I thought I would just win without letting him have any kind of counterplay. So I thought rook g4, and I'm just going to win easily. And I have to play rook h1. It's much better, and just take this pawn and then go with the king here. And it's actually more or less he has to go something like this, right? And I will go with the king actually as soon as possible and go and enter the position. The rook will get back into the game, and the king will be a Pac-Man swallowing his pawn. So accepting that this got lost would have been the good technique here. Instead, I played this rook g4. Looks very good, keeps the g-file under control, and attacks the pawn here. But I don't really want to take it. That's one thing, and it turns out that it gives him time to start working on the weakness here on a file, and he of course wants to exchange everything if possible. But it gets worse. Knight f6, clear mistake. The knight was excellently placed here, and I should just. But the thing is, he just got my king out of b5, so the counterplay connected with rook g3 is more annoying now, and I've sort of got lost. I should have probably taken on f4. It didn't feel right to take on f4, but it was the right decision. Rook g4 was one step wrong. Knight f6. I was still thinking, I'm just gonna win easily. My king might come here. The knight can go here. I might take this pawn with the knight, and so on. Whoa, it's coming. And then comes a nasty little surprise. King f3, defending against g4. Rook h3, threatening rook h3, and then comes rook b5. Strong chess. Well played by my young opponent here. Activating the rook, attacking the pawn, and it's already not so easy. I probably still was under the illusion that it was going to be easy. Still, black has a clear advantage with knight d5, just admitting your mistake, going back and saying, okay, I should have taken the pawn. I should have accepted that you would get counterplay. No problem here. I didn't do that. I took the pawn here, and here comes the counterplay. And suddenly the rook is alive, the d pawn is alive, and my pieces are not that well placed anymore. Too bad. Still, probably knight d5 is good. I was afraid that the rook would be sort of left out of the game, and it's not a dream situation. But and he plays check, and he goes to g6. But still, the knight is very strong on d5, and not having it on that square is a mistake, because suddenly, oops. And he should actually have played more passively with bishop e1, because I'm still better here after this move. Bishop e1 is more or less equal. The rook is so active, it will get here, or he will get the d pawn, and the d pawn will maybe even be a problem, and so on. Bishop e4, and this is also fine. And here I was also running out of time, and this is typical, because you think, oh, there must be an easy win, but where is it? I can't find it, and you're just sitting there and you're looking and you're looking and you're looking, you can't find it, and in the end you make a mistake. And here I thought, oh, and I thought it was also something more or less that I thought, I played so well, he got outplayed, I deserve to win. But there's nothing like deserving to win or anything like that. So clear mistake. I play now h5. I still have very good winning chances after g5. So I moved the wrong pawn. This is not hanging. There's knight g3, and I'll get a pass pawn in d-file, and it's much better than the h-file, which I didn't realize and I didn't have time to calculate. So I played h5, and here comes, oops, check. And he's doing all the right things now, pushing the king back, activating his pieces, and making sure that these, and I was still hoping, and then I realized, oh man, this d pawn is probably as strong as my H pawn, and it's gone. And I still try to say, come on, little junior, make a mistake. And he didn't make any mistakes. And well, and here it is. Not much to do here. And this is of course a draw. I was of course still hoping to do something, because my knight is better and his bishop is not that good, and the knight is tricky, and I'm threatening check here. Oops. But okay, not that. And rook d2. Oh, sad. And the problem is the knight is hanging, and the king will get to the f pawn, and then this one will sacrifice. Let's try it a little bit. Knight d5. And well, and we took a draw here. So bad technique explained. What did I do wrong? I lost control. I didn't have the right objective, and I thought it would be easy, and I didn't think I needed to change the nature of the position to win. Very painful. Very painful. I was, to be honest, I was really furious with myself after this game. I thought, oh man, chess makes no sense. There's no reason to play chess when you get this kind of position, and you against a player like you think maybe 200 rating points less than you, and you don't win. Then why are you playing this game? But okay, I got into better shape and started making a lot of points in the tournament, so it ended well for me anyway. This was GM Talks. Thank you for